The Department of Truth, issue number 22. That's right, folks. We're still going strong. Or is it the end? Hard to say, because this book ends with like a big cliffhanger that feels like, hey, we'll come back for the next season, if that makes sense. Because they kind of like say in the book, it's been like a year in terms of the actual character story. So season one's over. Let's take a break, come back. And the book actually ends with like, the Department of Truth will return. Almost like Tynion's going to go make money off of his Substack deals going to Dark Horse, and he doesn't really want to work with Image right now until he gets that shit done, which is kind of fun. Tynion's an interesting guy. I don't want to shit on him because I don't feel like I need to, but it does kind of feel like he made a lot of money from Substack, fucked over from DC to go work there, and now the well's drying up, so he's like, well, now I gotta take my Substack books and put them to actual publishers where they make money. Which is kind of weird. Kind of sad if you think about it. So this book, I think more than any other issue of Department of Truth, definitely has the stylings of just being like a finale or just like wrapping up a couple of arcs. We open up the book, Ruby and Cole are talking about how to deal with Maddie. What are they going to do with Maddie? How do they deal with Maddie? How do they get that situation figured out? She's like, Cole, we'll get it together. If we have to kill your husband, we're going to find another way. Put on a happy face. Is that going to be possible? Who is to say? Probably not. Cole goes home one day to talk to his husband. His husband knows what's going on. He's talked with Black Hat. Cole knows that his husband knows. Nothing about that is good. They're having a very uncomfortable conversation where neither of them can really talk to the other. Nobody's having a good time. Everyone's uncomfortable. And we see that Lee has been watching them the whole time trying to figure that out. Nothing is looking good. So the next day, Maddie just goes to work and he just feels uncomfortable. Like, hey, somebody's working on his computer that he doesn't know. That doesn't make him feel safe. He's walking to a coffee shop that's packed, super busy. Some strange guy he's never seen before. It's like, hey, my table's free. If you want to sit down, I'm not going to bother you. So he just sits down. Ruby and Lee are watching him on a monitor like, look, this is not good. We're up against some tough shit. We're going to have to deal with this guy somehow. I don't know what that's going to be. It's probably murder, is what the book is suggesting. So I'm like, okay, kind of fun. And then we kind of like have a hard cut. I don't want to say like a hard cut, because that's not really what comic books do, but this next part of the book, I'm like, why did we have to go here? This feels like we needed to explain this element before I like take a break from the book, which I'm okay with, I guess, you know? Whatever. You got to do what you got to do, Tynion. I'm not going to complain. So it's kind of Cole talking to the star-faced man, the version of him that is hanging up on like the rafters, just looking up at him like a monster. Cole's talking about like how one time his father explained to him his nightmares and his dreams, and he saw like a T-Rex running through his middle school, and it scared him, and he was uncomfortable by it, and he thought like, hey, that was real, and dreams have a way of making things feel real, and especially because a T-Rex is a thing that exists, it could feel real in that aspect, right? So his dad's trying to convince him, maybe the dreams you had of the, star-faced man satanic panic back in the day were things that you just didn't happen because they just felt real to you. Cole's like, what? What? Either way, it puts doubt in the mind of his mother, and his mother's like, well, we can't go back. Now we can't like testify because you put the idea of doubt in the kid's head. Fuck you, dude. And that kind of leads to his parents separating. And I think that's a really interesting element that more or less feels like we had to fill a couple of pages as opposed to telling an actual part of the story to keep it going, because it's like, the shadow of doubt, I guess, is the key in that story. But we kind of knew all this stuff already about Cole, so it doesn't come off as like a naturalistic idea for him to explore. Whatever, we got through it. We can move past it and do other stuff. But Cole is not done. He's got a bright idea, so he goes to talk to Lee, and Ruby's there like, okay, we're losing this battle. Nothing is going well. Do you know what's going on outside right now, okay? We had like a field team. Like 3 of them died because like we couldn't like eliminate some chupacabras in New Mexico. There's like white nationalists who have moved off the grid. They say they have a dossier that proves the last election was stolen. We have dead agents on the scene from that. That's a clear-cut case, and we have agents who are dead because of it. There's like a group that stormed the CDC office that proved the pandemic was fake. And it goes all the way back to polio. And how are we losing this? These are simple, clear-cut cases. Why aren't we doing this? How come we can't uphold this? We're losing a war against Black Hat. It's not good. How do we stop this? Cole's like, we have to fight this a different way. Of course, Lee is hesitant. He's like, you're trying to cover your husband's ass, okay? I get it. He's like, no. Clearly, the old tactics aren't working. We need to try something new to counteract every single thing that's happening. We have to make a play so bombastic that nobody is going to expect it or like believe it's something we would do. So Cole goes home, meets his husband. They're trying to, again, talking around the issues. Cole's like, my boss tried to convince me to kill you earlier today, but I tried to talk him into doing something else. And they're still kind of talking around the idea of fractured marriage where nothing is really going the way they want. And because of that, Lee's like, I don't got time for this. Quit pussyfooting around it. I'm going to come in. Let me talk to the guys. Like, I'm sure you're, like, the people you know, Black Cat and shit, they have given you a lot of information, told you a story, best suited their interests. I'm sure they spread a lot of shit towards you. I'm just here to tell you, man, stories have two sides. But I want you to change the narrative in a sense, and I'm going to give you something that could destroy the fabric of reality. So why don't we take a little bit of a minute and talk about what's coming next, okay? It's all part of some bullshit agenda. It's just a lot of the world is about to come crashing down. So here, let's start with some introductions then, okay? If you're going to be like our face, my name's Lee Harvey Oswald. For the last 60 years, I've been a member of the Department of Truth, and you're about to reveal all my deepest, darker seasons to this newspaper, to this country in your newspaper, I should say, and maybe, just maybe, we'll save the world. So, that's where the book ends. We're going to put Maddie to tell the deepest, darkest story in the world. Lee Harvey is going to be ousted to the world as the face of this department. A maneuver so bold that it's either going to ruin the fabric of reality or just change things indefinitely. And books appears to be going on a hiatus after this. I can't tell. Because it just kind of says the Department of Truth will return. That leads me to think, oh yeah, he's going to be taking a couple months off to focus on like Blue Pen or something. Which I understand and I'm not upset about. I just think this book was probably one of the least interesting of everyone we've seen so far. It really felt like hey, we did the penultimate stuff, that was really good. What if we took a minute just to set up the finale to this season, and when we come back, it's going to be bigger, badder than ever. And I'm like, okay, I guess so. I don't think that's wrong, but do what you gotta do, I guess, Tynion. So the artwork's still sharp. The lettering is still beautiful. Still a really good book. This issue, however, really felt like we were staying in place and just presenting a new idea as opposed to crafting some work of fiction and telling us something in a beautiful, deranged way. So it's not my favorite of the run. I understand its importance, and I hope when we come back, things feel a little clearer, or maybe find their bearings a little more. You know? Because I want this book to succeed, but at the same time, if you were to tell me Tynion's like, I just don't got the time or patience to work on this anymore, I would not be surprised. So, The Department of Truth, issue 22, I am going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Hive. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.